Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Now this is a huge piece of elm which I bought a few months ago, and I've been looking at it for quite a while, plucking up the courage to turn it. It's certainly going to have a few challenges because we've got this huge branch area here which is higher than everything else, so no matter how we mount this, it's going to be very unbalanced at the start. So let's take a look at it and see where potential problems may lay. Initially we've got a crack on this side. I don't think that's overly deep, and given the size of the piece, I don't think that's going to give us any structural problems. The reverse side is all nice and clean. I can't see any soft areas or anything like that. We've got a slight hairline crack there, but as it doesn't go down the side, I don't think that's going to give us any problems. Everything to worry about is pretty much on here. This bit here looks like it's been used as a chopping block or something like that. I'm not quite sure what this piece has been doing for the last few years. Initially when you see pieces like this you wonder, can it be a natural edge piece? But with this, that kind of chucks that idea right out the window, I'm afraid. So it's going to be a normal shaped bowl. When I say normal shape, it's going to be a flat top as opposed to a live edge. I certainly don't want to turn it into a box standard fruit bowl or something like that, so we'll figure out the shape for it as we go along. Now I was going to mount this with a face plate, but because of the size of it, I think I may be better off using a worm screw so it can take cores. Now a face plate would take up that kind of area, and with the screw holes in there it would eradicate the chance of at least saving the center piece of this. So I'm going to go in with a worm screw, we'll get it on the lathe, and then we'll get started. Okay, we're safely on the worm screw. Now the tip of the live center is just on the edge of this branch section, which means that it could be dangerous to try and put that in, because when we put it in, it's going to naturally try and force the piece that way, which I don't want to happen. So I'm just going to quickly flatten up this area here with a Forstner bit, and then we can get the live center back in and it'll be nice and safe. Okay, now that was quite a vibration, so I may have to go down a gear, I think, so we can turn a little bit safer. Okay, we're nice and safely on the lathe now. I've gone into first gear. This lathe has 3 gears, and in each gear will take you through a certain range of speeds. In first gear it's about 200 RPM up to about 800 or 900. Hopefully that lower speed will allow us to turn this area away safely. Right, so let's see what kind of speed we can get to in first gear. Okay, right, that's 350 RPM. Not overly fast, but it should be fast enough for us to take away this big lump here, and then when that's gone we should be able to pick that up a lot higher. Right, I'm going to put a face shield on, I'm going to sharpen up my 1/2 inch bowl gouge, and we shall make a start. This isn't a competition. We're not trying to get it done as quickly as possible. We're just being patient and taking it away slowly. It'd be very, very easy for me to try and pick up the speed a bit and get it turned faster, but then we could run into dangerous situations, and the most important thing is always safety. So we're just going to continue on, taking this down bit by bit until we get into a far safer situation, and then we can pick up the speed. Okay, right, we're still going. Now, one thing I've noticed here is that we've got a crack going from there up through the centre of this pith area where this branch came out. And there's a possibility it goes up there. Now, I'm not sure exactly what's going on, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that as we progress. Still getting rid of this big lump. It is getting better. I'm up to about 450 RPM now. If I hold it there, you'll see that we still have a very definite weight imbalance. So I'm just going to keep on moving this tool rest a little bit closer so I can keep the tool nice and close, and then carry on working to flatten this off. Okay, it's definitely starting to get easier. We've got the speed there up to about 560 RPM, which makes some of these cuts an awful lot easier. Oh, look at that. This kind of grain we've got here has all come from that crotch section where that branch was coming off. And that really is beautiful, isn't it? So we're going to have to keep a close eye on that, because if we go too far up, that'll start to disappear. So I think, as we haven't got any other guidance yet from this piece, that is something that we would certainly want to preserve if we can. We've still got an awful lot of bark to get through, so I'm not quite sure exactly if it's going to be possible. Right, I think I will start just to come round to the side and start working from this top edge down and see what happens to this shape and to this here. Okay, that edge looks quite nice. We do have that crack there. Not quite sure exactly how deep it goes, but we will investigate that one. That's that grain coming through from that bottom. Seems to end about there. Hopefully it'll go a few inches into that so we can clear some of this bark. Now we've got a slight curve going on here. That wasn't deliberate, but I do like it. So I think I'll take a couple more passes down this side, and then I'm not quite sure. Then we'll decide after that. Okay, that crack's still there. It's too narrow for me to shove anything in there to see how deep it goes, unfortunately. That's nice round there. This is the beautiful bit. How do we keep that? I don't know. I don't know it's going to be entirely possible to keep this kind of figure here. Hopefully it'll go in deep enough for us to shape this a bit and then see. Right, I think I'll just do some investigation on this side. I'll just take this up to about here and going in with a slight curve to what would be a base around there and see how that looks. Okay, still got that figure. I don't think we're going to keep it. I would love to, but this is no good for us in this quantity. This bark won't sand properly. It won't cut properly. So unfortunately it needs to go a bit. So I think I'll just accentuate this curve just higher up into here, and hopefully that'll get rid of this bit for us as well. I can see that goes down to about there, so hopefully we can turn that away. It's a shame to lose this, but what we gain from that we'll lose in all these areas as well, so unfortunately it's not worth it. Okay, we've taken away a lot of that wood now. It's starting to improve the look. We've still got a little bit of this figure here, which is okay. This we could potentially work with. I think we need to worry a little bit about this crack. How about we join up these two curves? That would solve that. It would eradicate a lot of that and this. That may look nice, but a lot of that is just the bark. So don't be fooled by it. Right, let's do that. Let's join up these two areas and see what it does to this crack. Okay, I enjoyed those cuts. That was nice. Right, I kind of like this stepped look to it. I think I'd have to have a slightly smaller step from between there and there, with that being the foot. Now I've also left this little flat spot on here. Whether or not that'll stay, I'm not sure, but at the moment I quite like it, especially if we accentuate this curve a little bit. Okay, we've got a few holes and stuff around here. This is a bit nasty compared to the rest of it, so I think we need to start worrying about this foot for a little while before we start refining this shape. We're over 700 RPM now, really making progress. Okay, I've been making lots of cuts around here to try and find solid wood for our foot or tenon or recess or whatever we're going to use. As you can see, we've still got an awful lot of bark around this area, so I do like this shape. I do like the design, especially this top 2/3 here. So, but I do think it's all got to go up a little bit. So I need to recreate this shape, but move everything up about an inch so I can clear all this space on the bottom and find nice wood for us to do what we need to do on the base. Okay, right, I kind of got lost in the moment there and just engrossed in what I was doing, so I forgot to stop the lathe, but it's going okay. I like this kind of ridge we've got on here now. It went from just a flat area to a slightly more detail, and I like that, so I'm going to try and keep that, even though we do have some areas which are in bark. Now this bit here I don't like. It's all very, very fluffy, so I think I'm going to try and connect this curve to this one, and then if that's big enough for a tenon I'll use that. If not, then I'll put a recess in. We do have this bark going across the center, but hopefully a lot of this will go when I'm joining up these two curves. I think it's going to be quite an accentuated one, so more of a deep in there and then curve out to here, and that will hopefully make this bit of detail here stand out that little bit more. I think that did the job nicely. We've still got this dodgy area around here though. What can I do about that? I know this piece is generally getting smaller and smaller, but it is still one heck of a size. Right, I think I need a break. This has been quite tough going. So I'm going to go and have a bit of lunch and then we'll come back and carry on. Okay, we're back. I've had my lunch and it's the next day now. I came back to start yesterday afternoon, but I really am not happy with the bark we've got left on here, both in these areas and on here. So I've decided to do more turning, a bit of a redesign to try and get rid of it completely. That may sound a little harsh, and I know a lot of people will love it, but over time it'll dry up, it'll flake, it's got a chance to come off, and it's going to leave this piece less than what it could be. So it has to go. So what I'm thinking of doing is taking this curve we've got here down through all of this to about there, and then taking it in and down to a narrower base. This kind of bead we've got on here, I might put another one on that bit, and I may do something similar on the rim. I think it'll look quite Greek, but I really do desperately want to get rid of this. Still got a fraction more of the bark, the soft area there. So we'll get that in the next couple of passes. The crack we had on this side is now totally gone, which is good. So that's cured that. I've left this rim here as a detail. I'll sort that out in a little while. So now we've got to start thinking about getting rid of all of this in here. Okay, I think we've got rid of everything we needed to get rid of. I'm pretty happy. I think I'd like to make a couple more passes around here to get this edge detail that we've got here on this area. And then all that's left to sort out is the base. Okay, right, I'm much happier with that now. I feel more confident that I've managed to get the best out of this shape. Right, I'm going to put a recess into the base and then we can set up for sanding, I think. Okay, excellent. Right, I'm going to set up for sanding. As usual, I shall let you watch a bit of it and I'll bring you back when it's done. Okay, sanding went well. It's quite a big piece, so it took a while, but it was all fairly straightforward. Just going to go on with a bit of isopropyl alcohol just to help clean the dust off the surface and get ready for a sealer. This also gives us a first look at how this grain is going to appear with a finish on it. It's not too bad, is it? Okay, I'll let this dry and then we'll come back on with a sealer. Okay, that's all nice and dry. So we're going to go on with a blonde shellac sealer. I'm going to apply it with a brush this time because it helps it go further rather than it absorbing into a tissue. I'll give this a chance to dry and then I'm going to come back on with an abrasive paste. Okay, that's a good chance to dry. So I'm going to go on now with an abrasive paste. This will help remove any fine scratches on the surface. It'll also nicely prepare this piece for a final polish. Now, abrasive paste is applied with the piece spinning, so I've got some protective glasses on and we shall start. Okay, that's looking good. Right, another quick wipe over with isopropyl alcohol just to help get all the any remaining grain off the surface. Again, we'll let this dry. Okay, all nice and dry. Now I want a nice natural finish on this, which is going to be food safe and easy to reapply. So I'm just going to use a beeswax in a mineral oil. This will help waterproof the piece. It'll protect it. It'll also show off the wood to its best, I think. Elm's a beautiful wood, but I don't like it if it's too shiny. It's not that kind of wood. Not in my opinion, anyway. It's a nice loose finish this, so I'm going to put it on quite liberally and then I'll buff it in. If you've enjoyed what you've seen so far, I'd really appreciate a like and subscribe and all the usual things, and don't forget, if you leave a comment as well, then you are going to be entered into the next giveaway the next time we do one. It's completely free, doesn't cost you a penny, but it makes a huge difference to us. Right, I shall turn this round and we shall start hollowing it out. Okay, we've turned it around, we're all nice and safely on the lathe again. Now I'm going to attempt to take just one core out of this. Now if you're not familiar with the process, basically taking a core is gouging out a piece of wood from the middle that can be used again for something else. Now, there are risks involved obviously, so I'm only going to take one, and if I feel it's not going well, then I'll stop and we'll just hollow out normally. Okay, I sharpened it up. I was cutting better, but it's still binding an awful lot and it's scaring the living daylights out of me. So we'll just hollow this out normally. I know a lot of this beautiful elm is going to end up as sawdust on the floor, so please forgive me, but some things are just not to be. Okay, no surprises inside, which is good. We've just about eradicated all our attempt with the coring tool. So I'm just going to quickly sharpen up again and we'll carry on. Okay, all going well. I've just started to set the angle of this rim, because what we'd like to do is to try and follow this curve we've got on the outside with a shape there and then curve along the bottom, just so it all matches in nicely. That wide rim, I think it's going to stay pretty much like that. It's a good big bowl, so it can handle that size rim. We've flattened off most of this. There's still a little bit to tackle, but that is just a couple of light passes. Right, I'm just going to quickly sharpen up again and we will continue. Okay, we're doing really, really well. In the not too distant future, we're going to have to take the tailstock away so we can get rid of this center area. But we'll carry on for a little bit longer yet. I'm happy with the transition now from that curve into there. It's just a bit refining to do. But yeah, it's going well. Okay, all going very, very well. Just checking the wall thicknesses, making sure that we're all within boundaries. It'd be horrible to go through the bottom at this point, wouldn't it? Right, nearly there. Okay, I'm just swapping over to my curved tool rest, just so I can keep the tool nice and close to the surface, so the cuts are going to be as clean as possible. The further away the tool is from the cutting surface, the more jutter and vibrations you're going to get. A bit higher. Okay, right. I'm just going to sharpen up again. And we'll make some finishing passes on here. Okay, that's gone very, very well. Towards the end I was struggling getting that curve in there with my 60-degree gouge, so I moved over to the 40-degree and it managed to get me across the centre nicely. Right, I'm just going to quickly tidy up this edge and then we're done. Okay, yeah, it's cleaned up nicely. I put a little dip in there. Don't ask me why, it started to happen and I liked it, so I just did it. Right, I'm going to set up for sanding. I'll let you watch a bit of it and I shall bring you back when it's done. Okay, there we go. Sanding went absolutely marvellously. No drama whatsoever. So we'll just give it a wipe over with isopropyl. And again, take a look at this marvellous grain. I know we have lost some beautiful grain in the turning process, but overall, you can't really beat elm for variety. It's one of those woods that you can spot a mile off because it's so distinctive. Right, I'll let this dry. and I'll come back with a sealer. Okay, that's a nice chance to evaporate, so we're going to go on again with our shellac sealer. Once more applying with a brush. It's a nice bit of chatoyance in this elm. It's always lovely to see. Right, give this a chance to dry, and I'll come back on with an abrasive paste. Okay, all good and dry. So once again on with a nice generous coating of abrasive paste. Got my safety glasses on ready to rub this in. Okay, that's done its job very, very well. So back on with isopropyl alcohol just to wipe off any excess grit that may still be on the surface. When that's evaporated, we'll come back on with the beeswax and mineral oil finish. Okay, all nice and dry. So nice, healthy amount of the beeswax and mineral oil. This is going to keep it nicely food safe. It's going to waterproof it to a certain extent. You still won't be putting it into your dishwasher or anything like that. But it'll also mean that it's going to be nice and easy to maintain. Just give it a wipe down and then a coat of this every 6 months or so, or wherever it needs it. I'll just go over the back again as well. That should do it. Right, I'll rub this in again with it spinning, and then we're nearly done. Okay, I'm going to give this another coat, and I'll tidy up for a bit, and then when it's all finished, I'll come back and we'll take a final look. Well, there we go. One fairly large elm bowl. We've ended up with a piece which is just over 14 inches wide and just a shade under 5 inches deep, and it really is a bit of a beast. It's going to make a perfect fruit bowl for somebody, or you could even bathe small children in here. It really is quite big. It took me a while to find the right shape and the right design for this piece, something I was happy with, but we did get there in the end. I don't regret losing the bark because I know over time it would have looked tired. It had a chance of cracking, falling off, lots of things happening to it, so I don't mind that at all. I do slightly regret not being able to keep any of the beautiful figure that we found in the kind of crotch area at the start, but if you look at the figure overall in this elm bowl, then we can't be too disappointed because it really is such a beautiful wood. Now in the very near future, I'm going to be listing a few more pieces for sale due to popular request. And if there's anything you've seen me turn recently and you'd like it, and you'd like the chance to own it, then please send me a message or leave it in the description below. And if it's still available, then I'll add it to the list. But apart from that, if you've enjoyed this one, I really appreciate a like and subscribe and all the usual things. And don't forget that if you do leave a comment, you are going to be entered into the next giveaway, whenever that should be. But apart from that, thank you very much indeed for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Thank you.